Let's settle something that's been floating around personal finance circles for years. Do balance sheet tricks like being added as an authorized user actually move the needle on your credit score? Spoiler alert, the answer is yes, no, and it depends, which is basically the most frustrating thing you can hear when you're trying to buy a house or qualify for a loan. The authorized user strategy is simple on the surface. Someone with great credit adds you to their account, their history shows up on your report, and suddenly your score looks like you've been responsible for decades when really you've been eating cereal for dinner and forgetting to pay your phone bill. It sounds like a cheat code. And for a while, people were treating it exactly like one. Back around 2007, this practice got so out of control that there was an entire cottage industry of strangers selling their credit history to other strangers for cash. We're talking credit piggybacking, where you could literally rent someone's good behavior, like borrowing their suit for a job interview. FICO actually tried to shut the whole thing down by adjusting their scoring model, but then they quietly walked it back because penalizing legitimate family arrangements would have been a PR nightmare. Here's the macroeconomic irony nobody talks about. The credit scoring system was literally designed during an era when the assumption was that families shared financial lives, so authorized user status was baked in as a feature, not a bug. Now we live in this strange duality where the system still rewards you for piggybacking, but lenders have started sniffing it out, cross-referencing addresses, relationships, and account age to figure out if your great credit is really just borrowed credibility. The psychological pull of this trick is real when you're sitting at a 640, watching homeownership drift further away with every rate hike. Someone telling you, just get added to your mom's Discover card, feels like a lifeline. But the emotional high of watching your score jump 30 points in 60 days can mask the fact that you haven't actually changed any of the behaviors that tanked your score in the first place. Think of authorized user status as renting a tuxedo. You look the part, you might even get in the door, but the moment they check the label, everyone knows it's not yours. The score boost is real, but it's sitting on top of a foundation that hasn't been reinforced, and sophisticated lenders using manual underwriting will literally pull your full credit profile and notice that your only positive trade lines belong to someone else's account. Here's what the data actually shows though. According to studies from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, authorized user accounts can meaningfully improve scores for people who are credit invisible, meaning those with little to no credit history at all. For someone with zero history, the boost can be significant and legitimate, especially if the primary account holder has a long history, low utilization, and no late payments. Three things that genuinely matter to every scoring model. The misconception worth addressing head on is that this trick is cheating or gaming the system. It's not illegal, it's not even frowned upon if it's a real relationship. And credit bureaus have always factored in authorized user accounts because that's how the system was engineered. What is a problem is when people use it as their only credit building strategy and then wonder why a mortgage underwriter is raising an eyebrow at their file. The historical lesson here is that every time someone finds a shortcut in the credit world, the system adjusts. Remember when rapid rescoring was the magic bullet? Or when paying down balances right before closing was revolutionary, before lenders started requiring updated reports mid-process. The score is always a snapshot, never a story, and lenders increasingly want the whole story. So what's the practical play? If you have a family member or close friend with excellent credit who trusts you, being added as an authorized user is a completely legitimate and useful tool, but treat it as the opening move, not the entire game. Pair it with your own secured card. Keep your utilization under 30% across every account, and let time do the heavy lifting while your own history builds underneath the borrowed credibility. The deeper irony is that the people who need these tricks most are also the people most vulnerable to building a house of cards. On top of them, if you're adding yourself to 3 authorized user accounts to hit a score threshold, for a loan you can barely afford, the score is telling you yes, while your budget is screaming no. Discipline isn't just about what you put on your credit report. It's about whether you actually have the capacity to carry the financial weight you're about to pick up. Position size matters here too. Don't let a 30 or 40 point score bump convince you to take on a payment that requires perfect circumstances to maintain, because credit scores can be rebuilt, but financial trauma takes years to recover from emotionally and behaviorally. The goal was never the number. The number was always just supposed to represent the behavior. At the end of the day, authorized user add-ons are a real tool with real limitations. And the wisest version of using them is as a bridge, not a destination, a way to establish enough credibility to get your own accounts opened, your own history started, and your own responsible behavior tracked. Philosophy aside, the scorecard only matters if the underlying fundamentals match it. And building those fundamentals with patience, consistency, and boring discipline will always outlast any clever shortcut. Whether your score is 100 points away from where you want it, or just needs a nudge to cross a threshold, the process of understanding how these systems work is already putting you ahead of most people who just panic and click apply, hoping for the best. We're comfortable with wherever you are in that journey, because the point was never perfection, it was progress you can actually sustain. If you're ready to take that progress and turn it into real estate investment, home renovation projects, or connecting with the right lenders who understand the full picture, we can help you get started. Check out our links in the description below.